Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and esteemed participants who are present here in person and joining us on the live stream, we may now commence the event this evening henceforth. Today, we are honored to host the launching of iSEAuProject and its pilot episode on the topic of the role of university in promoting the access to inclusive and equitable quality education, organized by One ASEAN under the framework of YSEALI Seed Fund, in collaboration with ASEAN Youth Advocates Network Cambodia. So Ching, could you please let us know what is AYAN Cambodia?
Yes, for your kind information, AYAN Cambodia is a non-profit and non-governmental international youth-led organization that is littered with the ambitions to achieve a united identity of ASEAN youth, and in collaborations with One ASEAN strive to foster more accessible guidance for ASEAN students in pursuing higher educations. In addition, iSEAuProject is our commitments to help and facilitate youth in ASEAN countries in breaking barriers to reach their dreams to study overseas. And we would like to thanks to our brand new partner, AYAN. AYAN provide accurate, comprehensive, and current information about opportunity to study and accredit post-secondary institutions in the United States.
Before we run through the agenda today, Ching, would you like to introduce yourself?
Certainly, my name is Teacher Ching. I am an officer at the Project Management and Strategy Committee of AYAN Cambodia. Now it's your turn.
Okay. My name is Lee Kim Tek. I serve as a member of the Ambassador Council of AYAN Cambodia, and we will be your master of ceremony for this event.
Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, please allow me to brief the agenda as follows. First, we will begin with the national anthem, followed by the welcoming remarks by Mr. Nonsamnang Semani, Country Director of AYAN Cambodia and representative of the One ASEAN. Then we will project an introductory videos of the One ASEAN. After that, we will move to the main agenda of today's panel discussion, which is the first episode of the iSEAuProject under the topic of the roles of university in promoting the access to inclusive and equitable quality education.
During the panel discussion, we will kindly ask everyone to not hesitate in asking questions to our panelists so that we can enjoy an interactive panel discussion. Last but not least, we will have a closing remark by Mr. Chia Sopia, Executive Director of AMCAM Exchange. And finally, we will have a photo session.
Prior to our next agenda, I request everyone to kindly put their phones on silent mode to minimize any distractions and fully participate in this meaningful discussion.
We greatly value your participations.
Excellency, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, to see the tones of these meaningful events, I respectfully request everyone to rise for the national anthem of Cambodia. Cô rục tông chiết, nay ព្រះរាជាណាចក្រកម្ពុជាគោរព
Thank you. Please be seated.
Excellency, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, please allow me to move to our next Next item of agenda, I may now kindly invite Mr. Non Samnang Saimani, Country Directors of ASEAN Youth Advocate Network, Cambodia, to deliver the welcoming remarks, please.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the official launching of the iSEAu project. My name is Moni, the representative of the One ASEAN team, and I'm also the country director of AYAN Cambodia. But at the outset, allow me to first briefly introduce about the One ASEAN project. It all started last month when I was fortunate enough to be the chosen delegate to represent Cambodia to attend a regional conference in Hanoi, Vietnam. And iSEAu project is a product of achievement of the One ASEAN team, in which we focus on higher education. And a month later, our team, which comprises of representatives from Cambodia, from Thailand, from Indonesia, from Laos, and the Philippines, and also Vietnam, we come together and make this iSEAu project possible. And Cambodia was honored to be the host to launch this iSEAu project and its first episode. And today I'm indebted with our speaker, my dear respectful brother, Dr. KHIENG Sothy. Thank you very much for coming. I had the opportunity to have made acquaintance with my senior last half year ago when AYAN was organizing a special dialogue on the reflection of ASEAN. And he was one of those who were a staunch supporter of AYAN Cambodia in organizing the event. And his presence today is a further testament of his staunch supporter of youth empowerment, especially in the field of education. Thank you so much for joining us. I am also indebted to my team members from the One ASEAN team, Faya, Franco, T-Bird, and me now, and also Dr. Ho and Lulu for your kind support and facilitations in this project. And if we wouldn't have this project happening without the kind support from our mentor, Miss An, who is a professor in the university in Ho Chi Minh City. And I'm also indebted to my team, my wonderful team, AYAN Cambodia, the National Council, the member of the assemblies who have always been there for me. And frankly, I would say the iSEAu project was actually an independent project that I, with other delegates who were the champion of the seed fund of YSEALI, hold the burden to make it happen. But it is AYAN who is the backbone, who is entrusted by this international youth group to host the launching and its first episode. So thank you so much for making this happen. And my gratitude also goes to the executive director of AMCAM, my dear brother, Tears Appear. Thank you so much for always be there. Let me go off the topic a bit. I've known Tim for the last 2 years. I have the opportunity to work with him closely when I was the president of ELBBL Crew, a youth-led organization that my colleagues and I founded based in RULE, Royal University of Law and Economics. We furthered the collaboration with iSEAu Cambodia, another organization that I co-founded, which he is a supporter of when giving the venues, to host seminars, and among others. Today, he is supporting AYAN Cambodia, my current affiliated organization, to host this official launching of the iSEAu project and its first episode. So thank you so much, MCAM. Thank you so much, brother, for giving us this opportunity. Today, I am not entitled to deliver the substance of the topic of the first episode, because I know that Dr. KHIENG Sothy coming here carrying with us a very meaningful substance, which is we're gonna be very insightful for the audience, especially those who are joining us today in person and in virtually via live streams. So I will let I will let the spotlight shine upon him. And with this, I should like to now conclude my speech, and I'll yield the floor back to the MCs to proceed with the agenda. Thank you so much.
Before the commencement of the first panel discussion, and to set an engaging tone for the session, we would like to screen a special video by the One ASEAN representatives. Please kindly enjoy.
To all our beloved ASEAN students and to all our esteemed guests, thank you for supporting this event. Today we celebrate the launch of the iSEAu project, an initiative that provides guidance to higher education students in ASEAN through a limited podcast series. Conceptualized by Team 1 ASEAN, today's launch is co-organized with our supportive partners, including AYAN Cambodia. The project won funding support from the Young Southeast Asian Leaders Initiative during the Regional Conference on Innovating International Higher Education in Hanoi. The second episode starts streaming this Saturday, August 5th, and shall culminate in Brunei on August 25th. Let us all advocate the creation of positive impact on higher education in ASEAN. Continue your support by streaming our series on our social media accounts. Congratulations, everyone, and thank you for your time.
Hello everyone, I'm Faya from Brunei Darussalam, Secretariat of the One ASEAN team. Thank you for coming to today's event, the first ever podcast episode of the iSEAu project. I would also like to extend my gratitude to our esteemed speaker, His Excellency Dr. KHIENG Sothy, for gracing our events with his presence. We are very excited with this collaboration with AYAN Cambodia. We hope you will enjoy the session.
Hi, this is Lulu from Indonesia. It's an honor for me to be part of Team 1 ASEAN to initiate the iSEAu project. My role here is to run the tech and marketing of the event. Thanks to AYAN Cambodia as our co-organizer of the pilot episode, and also thanks to the partner organizations from Southeast Asia. I hope everybody will enjoy the event and get new insights to motivate you more in pursuing higher education in overseas countries. Thank you.
Hello everyone, greeting from Thailand. I'm Berchok Chainen Ngamsawang. I'm the member of Team 1 ASEAN and I'm in charge of tech and legal. I would like to use this opportunity to thank you, the Cambodian team, the AYAN Cambodia and MCAM for being upon this event as a launching of our first episode of the iSEAu project. I am sure that this project will have the positive impact to the higher education in our region. Thank you.
Sabayadi, greeting from Laos. My name is Chandavyang Pimawong, or you can call me Minoi. I'm one of the One ASEAN team members. First of all, I would like to say congratulations to our team for running this first episode of our iSEAu project. I also would like to show my gratitude to our support YSEALI and also our partner AYAN Cambodia to make this happen. I also would like to say thank you to all participants who joined in this meaningful event, and I hope that you will get inside information to prepare yourself to pursue your dream in higher education. ขอบใจ
Ladies and gentlemen who are present here in person and joining us on the live stream, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. A moment of waiting. The first podcast episode of the iSEAu project is starting now. Please welcome our moderator of today discussion and also our director of advisory council of AYAN Cambodia, Ms. Sarun Vidya. It's yours.
Good evening, everyone. We are delighted to have you here with us for the launching of the iSEAu project. Welcome and thank you to all of our audiences tuning in here in person and those of you who are tuning in via our Facebook live stream. So our first pilot episode is under the topic of the role of universities in promoting the access to inclusive and equitable quality education, organized by One ASEAN under the YSEALI Seed Fund Grant in collaboration with AYAN Cambodia. My name is Virya and I will be the moderator for today's discussion. And I am excited to have with me here today Dr. KHIENG Sothy, who is the president of CamTech University. Doctor, would you like to say a few words to our audience before we start?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Arya. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you to AYAN, especially Mr. Muni, for the invitation, and thank you, AMCAM, for hosting us today. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So shall I tell you a little bit about CamTech University? So the Cambodia University of Technology and Science is a private, nonprofit, and research-intensive higher education institution. So CamTech's core values are integrity, respect, excellence, innovation, diversity, and it thrives to be the leading university in the fields of science and technology and in academic research in Cambodia. The university works on numerous academic projects aiming to bring innovation and knowledge that will contribute to the economic and social progress for existing and future generations. And I would like to also tell you a little bit about our guest speaker here today, Dr. KHIENG. So Dr. KHIENG is the founding president of Cambodia University of Technology and Science, and he also advises the National Council of Science, Technology, and Innovation. He served as the vice president for research and administration at KHIENG Institute of Technology between 2019 and 2021, and he is also an experienced and accomplished scholar, educator, and higher education administrator. Before joining KHIENG Institute of Technology, he spent 10 years at Cambodia's leading researching think tank, Cambodia Development Resource Institute, CDRI, and there he co-founded and was the head of education unit from 2014 to 2018, where he was a co-editor of book on Cambodia Education 2015, Employment and Empowerment. And Dr. KHIENG is also the author of a book on the dawn of social enterprise in Cambodia, which was published because of his doctoral degree. And his interdisciplinary field of research interests include post-secondary education, social entrepreneurship and innovation, and science and technology. So from all these descriptions, I think we can all agree that Dr. KHIENG is a very accomplished scholar, and it is such an honor to have him with us here today. So I think to start off with the discussion, I think I would like to ask a few questions as we ease into the panel discussion. So as an educator, a professor, what does inclusive and equitable quality education mean to you? And on a broader range, as one of the presidents of the higher education institutions, what does that term mean to you?
Thank you, Vidya, for this great question. and the kind introduction. It was I feel very humble to hear that. But just to add, because we are now physically at AMCAM, I was also a Fulbright Fellow. So thanks to the Fulbright Fellowship that funded my master degree. So back to your question about inclusive education and equitable quality education. There needs to be a bit of context before we talk about this, because in the development sector overall, there's a lot of discussions already, right? And to my 40 years of experience working in development sector and education sectors, these terms are not totally new, but have mostly been promoted in the last 30 years since peace warriors rise in Cambodia by particularly development partners and local actors since the first election was held in Cambodia. And that in the broad sense was to ensure that no one is left behind. No one is left behind. And that concept is later on picked up and adopted and adapted perhaps by educators, by policymakers in education sectors, and by researchers as a field of study and investigation. For example, and development partner, for example, by UNESCO, they have a policy for 2030 on no one left behind. And in Cambodia, we are more accustomed to education for all. I think this is the concept that we have heard at least in the last 15 to 20 years now, 15 to 20 years. So we are no strangers to such concept that as Cambodia is a quite homogeneous society culturally, religiously, and in terms of race. But at the same time, I think we should be humble and proud that we are very open society, open to practice of different religions, different sexual orientations, different political systems. We have vibrant multi-party countries, democracies, for example. So that's broad to set the context. I think in education, leaving no one behind, especially in higher education, which is more of my field of expertise and research, is that we want to ensure that women, people from disadvantaged background, people with disability, people from different nationality, ethnicity, to name a few, are included in whatever policy, in whatever programs that education actors promote and have. But to link to the other important keyword is equity. Because equality, inclusiveness is not enough. If you recall a race that is participated by different participants or racer, women, especially women that was featured in the video having a baby alongside, family, child, or elderly to care for. And then along with myself, I have my other racers who are disabled. And then, you can count the rest. And then this group of people are lying in the same type of race. So this is, everyone has opportunity to participate, but not equitable. So we would, in that case, find ways to accommodate people that have different needs, different challenges. So that's to ensure that not just having opportunity to participate in education, especially higher education, but also a meaningful outcome, because this is a good start, but then they would not be able to realize their dream. Someone mentioned in the interaction about realizing the dream. So this is really important that we find ways, method, and work more toward the result. Whatever method works, it may not one size fit all method. Actually, one size fit all is not usually the method that educator promote. And I can elaborate a little bit further how to design curriculum, how to design an environment, create an environment that ensure that we take into consideration different needs, different challenges, different dreams, different aspirations of young people.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kieng. So from his response, I think we can all see the values and the importance that he puts into fostering an environment that is inclusive and equitable. So from your perspective and more into your work, I would like to ask another question. So can you provide an overview of your university's initiatives and policies that are aimed at promoting an inclusive and equitable higher education environment?
Thank you for pinpointing to the case of CamTech. And as was introduced already, CamTech is relatively new, or very new actually, 3 years old. But we have a big vision, long-term vision, and a dream to be a leading university in the field of science and technology in not just Cambodia, but in the region. So we are now embarking on a very bold journey starting in 2021. And in terms of the initiatives, we are known, I think, according to our surveys and feedback from students, from parents, from other stakeholders, as a STEM university. And this is a niche area, technically called differentiation, that we wanted to make, because there's so many universities. If we compare per capita of university in Cambodia, that we are one of the highest, just like NGOs. So we were thinking, what values added could we promote, could we provide to youth? So the future of our country lies in the foundation of strong education system, especially science and technology education, or STEM, as usually called. But we realized that for majors and programs such as engineering, there's many challenges. So we provide the opportunities, inclusivity, we are open to all, but we are aware of the challenges, for example, to include women. Because sometimes there are issues related to women, but many often it's an issue related to men that prevent and girls and young people from taking up a major in engineering, saying that, you know, this is a major program that traditionally taken by guys, by men only. So we are breaking this stereotype, and we promote this, for example, strategically by having a specific program for women called Women in STEM. So CamTech was founded by the promise that everyone should have a equal opportunity to education, and that's why education was established. We are grateful to the generous support, sponsorship, and donation of many generous donors in Cambodia. And with that foundation for education, we were able to allocate to specific needs, such as women in STEM. The second being STEM regional equity scholarship. So the second problem, in addition to gender disparity in engineering, in technology, is regional divide. So urban, rural. Many people in the urban areas, including Phnom Penh, Banambong, Siem Reap, and so on, are able to access quality high education, and thanks to their easy access to information and universities that are numerous in these regions. But then there are not as many much information and many institutions of higher learning in other areas. And the economic development also means that they prioritize more immediate endeavors, such as taking on a job or short training courses, or drop out of school before even high school, to look after their younger siblings or elderly. So we understand this, and that's why we, the committee, provided specific scholarship to address people from rural disadvantaged background. And there were times I went directly to Ratanagiri, to Mandolgiri, to survey the reality of people in those areas, and we are able to recruit people from this area for our scholarship, and not just people, but indigenous people from Charai, from Kui, that are smart, but were not, until we provide this opportunity for them access such information and scholarship. Then they are now as good as people from NTS school, some private school, if not even better, because they knew the hardship. They went through a great difficulty in life. They have the can-do attitude to be able to travel from remote areas to join an English-based university, private university in the city. So I'll stop here, and I'll let Virya ask me to elaborate if I need to.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Kiel,
Answer your
for
question.
yes, fully. I am very satisfied with your response. I think to all of our audience here today and to those tuning in online, it's very important to adopt that can-do attitude that you mentioned. I think it's at this day and age, it's important to break the barriers, the societal barriers in pursuing your dreams, whatever major that you wish to do, whatever initiative that you wish to lead. I think now that a lot of the leading committees in Cambodia are putting a lot of consideration into that, you have more support to start your own foundation, to start your own initiatives. So please do not be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, to reach out for help, to research for the different programs that are provided, not just here in Cambodia, but also in other regions in the ASEAN countries as well. So I think that's very important. And I really thank CamTech for supporting the system of promoting and basically establishing scholarships to include a variety and a diversity of students in tech, in STEM, because I think it's important to always have a gender balance and different people from different demographics. And I really value your time and support for going down to talk to those people, because the best solutions always come from a proper diagnosis of the problem. So only when you actually take the time and put in the effort to research, to understand, okay, what is needed, what can we do about it, that is when you come up with the best solution. So thank you very much to Dr. Kian.
Maybe then I would just add
Okay.
two more points on physical development, because I mentioned the issue of disability, and that requires investment. So if we are to welcome people from disadvantaged disability background, we have to be able to invest in that facility that support them. So at CamTech, we have parking space, we have elevator, we have all the bathroom that are catered toward people with disability or with different ability, as we would like to say that. And then the other major challenge that women in particular, but also men from rural area face when migrating to the city, is regarding accommodation. So no family, then you might find a hard time. If you can afford to rent, it's okay. But if you are a woman, it's not just about the money, but you have to be able to feel secure in the environment that you are renting, you are sharing. So at CamTech, we provide dormitory for almost for free. They have to pay only for utility. So that's another thing that we understand, that addressing inclusivity and equity has to be holistic approach. And this is just a beginning. It's not perfect. There's many gaps that we have to do, but the important thing is that we have to look at multi-dimensional area, not just curriculum, but financial aids, facility, and policy regarding different socio-economic background of our student and lecturer.
Thank you very much for your elaborate response. We can see clearly from his answers that CamTech is fostering a very inclusive environment. So a follow-up question on that, I would say, is that from what we've heard from you, the leading committee or the school committee has done a lot in integrating people from different backgrounds with disabilities, people of different gender into your curriculum. So how do you sort of like bring up those policies and spread out those initiatives to be well known among faculty members? Because I feel like when it comes to fostering an inclusive environment, you need overall support, not just from the leaders, not just from the faculty members, also from the students. So how does CamTech maintain that connection and that communication of having everyone at the same wavelength among faculty members?
Arya, this is an ongoing challenge, but we have done our parts in addressing this continuously. So the general rule is that if we want the best student and graduates, we have to find the most qualified, the most passionate educators. So, and the most qualified educators and lecturers are ones that keep learning, never stop learning. And so we invest a lot in professional development training for our lecturer. Every year we invest 6 months continuously. So that's why most of lecturers at CamTech are full-time. Very simple, but a basic requirement. In order to promote the dignity and the prospect of teachers and attract the best to take this profession, which is the mother of all professions. We have to promote the best environment. We have to make sure that they are paid reasonably. They are not moonlighting at different institutions. So, and they get the opportunity to grow and learn continuously. So every 6 months, we provide a postgraduate certificate in teaching and learning. We train our teacher in order to teach our student learning how to learn. Learning how to learn, because our methodology is very different. Our methodology is actually andragogy for adult. So it's less on the teaching, the emphasis. It's more on the learning. So that's why we not only have to teach our lecturers and staff about their own lifelong learning, but how to mentor our students to learn, to find sources of information and to assess those sources of information. And one of the sessions in our professional training program for lecturer is inclusive education. So it's just timely. And we were fortunate 2 months ago to have a renowned professor with publication and expertise from Trent University all the way from Canada to come to CamTech to provide this training course on inclusive education. And so it has to start with our own lecturer and staff. And then talking about promoting more women in STEM, we cannot just say so and having me as a male patriarch dominant president to go and inspire women. I would not be the more inspiring. There has to be women leaders and faculty members and engineers who are doing that. And at CamTech at the beginning, I was quite concerned because this is the areas that most taken the as a profession by men, but now we have the latest statistic I received is around 40% of CamTech staff and faculty members are women, and not just by gender ratio, but we have currently engineering, sustainable built environment, and social science. We have 3 faculties that are offering programs, and 2 of the 3 faculties are run by leaders who are female. So we're very proud. One is an architect, and one is the other is an engineer, AI engineer, artificial intelligence and data science engineer. So we're very proud to have that, and so we hope that being the change we wish to see, the change regarding inclusivity, including equitability, including diversity, be the change we wish to see in the world, and be the role model, and at the same time be charter policy and continuously train our staff and members regarding this area. So we hope that the impact, although small, would be interesting and attract initiatives and projects of other institutions, especially institutions of higher learning. And I'm grateful and pleased to have AYAN talking about this topic today, because it's not just about CamTech. We are new. It's not just about Cambodia. We have beautiful ASEAN economic and social community. So we hope that today is not, I'm talking alone now, but I really hope to hear perspective from the region regarding different practices and in your own countries, and what can the practices in Cambodia can be shared, can be contextualized in other countries, because again, just like in education, there's no one size fits all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kieng. And I think Dr. has raised an excellent point on how an inclusive learning environment stems from an inclusive environment of diverse faculty members. And I'm very pleased to hear that up to 40% of faculty members in CamTech are women, because professors and educators have such a close relation to students. So they meet very often. They are the consultants, they advise, and they give mentorship. So I think it's very important to give these motivations and real life inspiration to our young girls who wish to major in these powerful and very advanced majors. And I also really like your point on how the methodology is important, because with majors like science, you're not there to just absorb facts and like numbers and information, but you are there to learn how to learn, because technology advances every day. So after you graduate, there might be new applications, new sorts of sort of like methods that people are using. So your educators are there to tell you and to guide you on how to use those research, the sources of information, how to build upon your career in the future, especially among science majors. So thank you very much to Dr. Kieng. Our next question to you is more in depth. I think we've talked a lot about facilities. I personally have been to the CamTech University campus, and it is so beautiful with such innovative facilities. So in the school program itself, in the curriculum design, how does your university ensure that diverse perspectives are reflected not just among faculty members but among students? How are comments, how are recommendations taken, and how do you make all students feel engaged and include in the learning process?
Thank you. So as an educator and education researcher, this is one of the more critical questions, and I don't think I will have all the answer because this is with the advancement of technology and knowledge, especially fast pace of digital transformation. The ways we teach have to adapt constantly. We are not always at the front end of knowing what is best. We just know one thing for sure. We have to adapt. We cannot teach and educate students the way we were taught. This is what I tell my colleagues, especially lecturer. We were born, we were educated, we were raised in a very different period from now. So we just know this principle. We have to keep innovate our way of teaching. And I mentioned a few key words already earlier about our philosophy of learning and teaching at CamTech. So before going to the methodology, our philosophy is that learning is not something to be done by the lecturer or any authority like myself to the student. It's something that students have to do by themselves. And we hope to achieve this by changing their conception of reality, or what they understand about society, about industry, about engineering, about architecture, about arts. So if we achieve this, then learning happens. So that's what that translates into reality, especially teacher, students in the classroom, is that the role of the teacher like myself, and I still do teach, is transformed from lecturer to coach, to, like Arya mentioned, to mentor. For many centuries, teachers, educators were regarded or have been regarded as sage, priests, right? Standing on a podium, talking to learners or students, passively taking notes. So we are at CamTech transforming from sage on the stage to guide on the side. Because being an educator implies much more responsibility than just teaching. Like you mentioned, they have coming from Ratanakiri, the other challenges: traffic, safety, being a woman, harassment, how to get around, how to get food, how to order food, how to support their parents back home, sister back home, how not to let their sister drop out of school at home. So there are many challenges that academic affairs team have to support beyond learning, beyond internship, beyond research. A teacher would spend the hour of teaching in a classroom and say goodbye. But our full-time lecturers spend the whole day, and even in the evening, into the evening. We have a lecturer, a female lecturer who was teaching in France, a Cambodian lecturer. And now coming to CamTech, he said, oh, it's very different. In France, I was really relaxed because 9-5 and then we are done. Now we stay into the evening. But I feel really proud. This is the quote from our female engineers. I'm really proud because I'm able to help our students do better, perform better at school. And the students are likewise. They spend more time in the evening. This is just like going to the university that I've been to in the US, in the Netherlands, in Australia, but locally. So one way to explain difficult challenge going to CamTech is that to go to international university, but locally. The curriculum transformed from lecturer to coach, to mentor, to guide. And the students are also, we have to also change the mindset of students First, we have to teach them learning how to learn. We have seminar workshop to teach them learning how to learn. We cannot promote independent learning if you don't know how to learn, how to access information online. If they don't have critical thinking, and now with ChatGPT and OpenAI, within the access of your palm, then you know everything. But you don't know what is true. Because this algorithm without critical thinking can be dangerous, can be biased as well. So the ability to access information is something that we think is important. It's part of the 4C, 21st century skill. So we promote the curriculum using andragogy approach through projects and problem, PBL, project-based learning. Okay, so there will be some lecture and seminar, but most of the time students are working on their projects. So in addition to classroom, we form students, or students form themselves into groups, and they are mentored, supervised by a lecturer or two on their project. And the project has direct linkage to their academic curriculum. So we hope to address that, not just that with this approach they learn better, they take more ownership of their learning, but that they will be able to gain practical experience through hands-on, which is a key problem reported by employers, which is lack of job readiness. People study in university for 3, 4 years or 5 years, but then when they go to the workplace, employers, HR have to train them for at least 6 months more in order to be able to be productive. So we are able to address this issue, both theoretical and practical knowledge, and addressing not just any project, but real life project from industry, from our own campus. We have a project on green university. So they will look into smart bin and how to green CamTech to be more sustainable university. We have a project from Khmer Drone to improve data analysis, data analytics of the information collected by different drones across the country, from agricultural drone. We have project from a major bank on how to develop their app and website. So these are real projects. And then we have many other projects that address SDG, Sustainable Development Goal. And by the way, inclusive and equitable education is a major goals of SDG, at least SDG 4, for example. And CamTech is young but fortunate to be a member of SDSN, UN, United Nations Sustainable Development Solution Network, chaired by renowned Colombian University Professor Jeffrey Sachs. So what that means is that I represent CamTech and Cambodia in international arena, looking for policy recommendation and practical solution and curriculum that we can align to address different goals of SDG, and in this case is SDG 4 and beyond. So the curriculum is something that we are adapting every year. We are changing because industry is changing. So we have to adapt. This is what's happening now. I don't know, with the advancement of AI, many things are in the hands of learners. So we are always critical of ourselves and asking ourselves what to transfer or not what to transfer, and what else to teach. So the balance between hard and soft skill, some are out of date, are important for now, but will be out of date very soon. They have to reskill, learn. Some are more transferable, like collaboration, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration. So these are transferable to any workplaces, to any industry beyond their own field of study. And as an engineering and STEM school, this information would only be possible with strong collaboration with industry partner. And we are proud to have not just their sponsorship, but they are able to provide feedback regarding the demands at their workplaces, enterprises, major enterprises, Canada Bank, Chipmong Group, ISI, and many others company that are working very hard with our industry forum. We created industry forum, University Industry Forum. So they provide the latest signal and trend and mentor our student and come as a guest speaker for our student as well.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kieng. And I think your point on adaptability is significant, especially not only for school curriculum, but for everything else. It's important that we constantly challenge the way we think and ask the question, why do we think the way we think? So thank you so much. On the topic of technology and teamwork and projects, with the increasing reliance on technology and online platforms for education, especially the past few years during the COVID pandemic, how has your university approached in ensuring accessibility and inclusivity in virtual learning environments? And are there any innovative practices or tools that you have implemented in doing so?
Thank you. So this is also timely because thanks to COVID, because some reports suggested that the pace of transformation digitally have been fast forwarded 10 years. So we save 10 years of time because of COVID. There's many issues arises from COVID, but there are also the other side of COVID. And CamTech was born during the pandemic, late 2020 and early 2021. So our way of working, operation, and our way of delivery is designed with COVID, with distance, with digital technologies in mind. So what that implies is that we have a learning management system in place. We are able to provide projects to students to continuously to develop school management system, which will include not just learning management system, but library management system. I talked to American Corner director just now, how technology, how resources are now available more online, because this is the needs. This is what our readers, students, young people are more interested in, the physical resources, books, journal, and so on. So all of this is the means to achieve a digitally transformed university or digital university at CamTech. So not just the curriculum, all the lectures are recorded and are shared to all the enrolled students in that course. So we understand that there's no one size fit all. And imagine the traditional setting, some students think this lecture is boring because they are smarter, but some other students think, I don't get a clue, not because it's not interesting, but it's too advanced, too fast for me. This is the challenge of one size fit all classroom, traditional setting, okay? Despite the changing of location, student center, and so on, andragogy, and so on. One way to address this is to be inspired by the vision of Khan Academy Coursera founders. Education anytime, anywhere. So all lectures are recorded and shared online for enrolled students so that they can access it anytime. And some courses, they don't have to come to campus, so they can review online. So in the future, we hope to use our AI technology to be able to measure student view what are the challenges, which areas are not clear, and we use this feedback to inform our lecturer that at this point, this section, this module may need to be reconsidered or consulted with the student. Why did they review this section so many times? Why did they not finish this lecture through the online course management that we have? So we don't just have programs in AI, but we use AI for goods, for the benefit of our students. So I think overall, we believe that it's not just a technology. Technology is a means, but the people that use technology, our lecturer, are the key to empowering students to be a change agent, positive change agent in the society. So inclusivity is really important.
Thank you so much to Dr. Kieng. I think that was a wonderful answer in terms of how we can use technology for good. As we have time constraint, I do have a few more questions, but because we have limited time, I would like to pass the floor to our audiences here in person and those online. If you have any questions, please do feel free to leave in the chat box. Our team will help coordinate. And for those of you here who would like to not only ask questions, but share your experiences in learning, share your challenges, what you have faced during COVID and the struggles that you meet in university, in school, then please feel free to do so. Thank you. I have already received a few questions from online or participants online. So since we don't have any questions in person yet, I'll take the liberty to start with those tuning in online. So oh, this is a very elaborate question. So the royal government of Cambodia has continued its efforts to reform the education sector at all levels. Over the years, we have seen a lot of policies such as Cambodia Education Roadmap 2030, which is SDG 4, policy on inclusive education, national policy on lifelong learning, and so on. So I think universities play very important implementation roles in that. So in your opinion, what are the best practice strategies or programs to integrate those government policies to create a more vibrant, equal, and inclusive environment for higher education for all students?
Thank you. That really elaborated question, but good question. I don't think I have the answer, to be honest. Although I work at a think tank for 10 years influencing policy development. Maybe my humble opinion is that we have a great Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport, and then Ministry of, relevant authority is Ministry of Labor and Vocational Training, and then many other sectoral ministry that help promote inclusive education, such as Women Affairs, Social Affairs, and so on. And we have many policies, as indicated. I don't need to mention. The challenge is to implement, to finance those policies, and I think more important than financing is to coordinate and find partnership to make sure that activities are well coordinated and not unnecessarily overlap, are well financed, and are able to be implemented at both the national and the sub-national level, because there tend to be discrepancy not just in terms of technology, but in terms of level of awareness and implementation as well. So in urban areas, policies and educational achievements and attainment tend to be better than rural areas in general, not just in Cambodia, it's anywhere. So if we are able to address this regional discrepancy, and able to mobilize people, not just the government. The policy from the government is a guide for all stakeholders, not just government actors in different ministry and government agency, but academic institutions, tertiary and secondary and lower secondary as well, but also development partners and NGOs and enterprises. Yeah. So if we are able to bring all partners to contribute to the initiatives, to the inspiration as stated in all this beautiful written policy, and co-finance the implementation of this policy and pay more attention to regional discrepancy in terms of such implementation, I think we would be able to achieve greater results together, bearing in mind that education efforts and reforms and resolve take time. I'm sure many of you hear the Confucius saying that if you want to achieve result within 1 year, you plant rice first, right? If you want to achieve result in 10 years, you plant tree. And if you want to achieve result in 100 years, invest in human capital. And that's education and health, not just education. Healthy citizen, educated citizen, prosperity.
Thank you so much, Dr. King. Right now, we have an overload of questions, not only from online, but I am kindly reminded by our team members that we also do have questions from people who have registered for the event. So I think for the next question, we have been talking about the roles of university for quite a while now. So I would like to know the higher education's point of view. What do you think students or youth in general should do to collaboratively bring about a better access to quality education?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And it's similar to the question about learning I raised earlier, that is not the responsibility only of the lecturer. It's also the responsibility of the student. And talking about inclusiveness, inclusive education and equitable ones has to also be participated fully by beneficiary, by youth themselves. So this is the issue that we have not discussed. I'm glad the audience asked this question. And one of the ways to do that is students have a lot of ideas, actually. They come to our university and many other universities as well, both public and private. They have big dreams. They have inspirations. They have their own vision. We just need to provide platform, for example, for them to form student clubs and provide some mentorship and funding, seed funding for them to implement projects, community projects, to realize their ideas in terms of how to increase information about university major choices and career choices in rural area. How to promote reading. This is very important to ensure lifelong learning, to ensure good access to quality information is reading. It's a very good habit. So students at CamTech initiate their own club, their own green book. They collect their own money. CamTech support their promotion, some books, and then they go promote reading and give donation to some books. Our students, although they study full time, they volunteer to go to different workshops across different provinces, especially in rural area, to talk about their life, their experiences at CamTech, and how to break the barrier in the mindset that women should not study this, women should not take on these careers, women roles should be limited to this boundary. you should only marry this sex and not this sex, and so on. You should not travel far from your home beyond, break all these stereotypes. But most of the issue are not, again, the issue that are related to women, but guys, if you're talking about inclusivity and promotion of women participation in society, not just in education, men have to take the step and to make sure that our female counterparts have the opportunity and have the support, especially myself as a father and as a husband, to make sure that my wife have time to take on her career that she enjoys, and not just having her to look after my three kids busy at home. But so how can I play my part in ensuring that childcare is shared, so that women, not just young, but older women that are potentially the role model, can show the example that you don't have to sacrifice between career and raising and having a family, for example, between taking care of elderly and studying, right? So the role of student, I think it's wrong. It's usually a wrong assumption that student, especially coming to university with empty information or nothing, actually. So they have a lot of demands. It's the university that are not aware, university administrator, the teachers that are not aware, and we should be more aware. We should understand and empower them through promoting and creating a conducive ecosystem for them to realize their dream. And this dream is best realized, if it is not a personal dream, a dream to see changes in their community, is best realized by working collaboratively with people from all disciplines. So this is another thing that at CamTech it's STEM, but it's actually STEAM, STEM with a liberal arts. So we break the barrier of discipline. The lecturer likewise, architecture, interior design, social science, engineering, administrative only. All lecturers have from different disciplines have to work together, and students likewise, they have the opportunity to work collaboratively so that they get to know people from different regions of Cambodia and beyond. We are expecting to receive some students from China and Indonesia and Thailand and Malaysia toward the end of this year already, so that they are more exposed, not just within Cambodia, but about different cultures, different religious beliefs from countries in the ASEAN region and East Asia as well.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kieng. I do have another question coming in right now. So one big challenge with people from rural area is the accessibility to scholarship opportunities and guidance to study abroad. So how can universities facilitate this and make it a more sort of like inclusive application process?
Yeah, this is a good question as well, and practical. So to promote information, and by the way, promote, my colleagues do not like me going to provinces with them, because I don't promote CamTech. I promote access to information about studying at any university in the country and beyond. And then at the end, they were not happy. Joking aside, our students come along because they are the best messenger. They live through the experience. So and their communication, my gosh, they are unbelievable. In the first term or second term, in their first year, they're able to communicate as well as very young, if not even better. So I'm so proud of them. And we make application accessible by anyone in Cambodia or in the world online. It's a simple thing, but this is a small thing we can do to make it accessible. Online, within 15 minutes, you can do it. Maybe 20 minutes, including 5 minutes of, actually only 3 minutes of video recording, because we require a video statement. to be submitted along with the online application, and no application fee. It's free. And so only those in Cambodia will understand why I'm saying this. Online, done in 15 minutes, and there's no application fee. So accessible. The only challenge is that because we expect certain level of quality of education and communication at our university, the English is the requirement at the moment. English is the requirement. Yeah. But we believe that if they have English skill, then they'll be able to access information, resources in the library, and able to access our lectures well. Though it seems like this is very elitist. And it's true that our philosophy is merit-based, needs blind, but we do recognize people with lower socio-economic background, educational background, aspiring to come to CamTech. So we create a bridging program, 6 months to 1 year, to prepare them to build their foundation, mathematics, coding, and language proficiency. So after this bridging program, they're able to apply and to become year 1 and get opportunity like other students.
Thank you so much to Dr. Kieng. I think one of our audience here in person has a question, so please feel free.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. King. And first of all, I would like to introduce myself. And my name is Kieng Sothy. Yes. And I would like to address your question. And my question is, what are your strategies to contribute people in rural area or remote area to continue their study at the university? Because nowadays, mostly the girls get married after grade 12 and in remote area, and the guys go to work to support their financial problems. And what are your strategies to contribute them to continue their study at the university? Thank you.
Thank you. A very good question. And when I see you and others in the audience, I see brightness, I see hopes. You project a lot of energy. And I see optimism for the future of Cambodia because of all of you. And if you embark on the good journey of education to achieve your dream. I think this is a very challenging question as our country is fast developing, achieve 2 decades of rapid development, one of the world record in terms of economic development, 7% per year. But there are also some disparity, some people that are also were not able to realize the result of our development, and especially in higher education as well. So this is not a unique issue to Cambodia. All developing countries of similar context are going through or have gone through similar process, and the needs are different. As I said earlier, higher education to be really straightforward is not for everyone. It's not for everyone. It's an opportunity that can be for everyone, but if you look at the industry, the demands for skill and education of our economy is very basic. So what that means is that, for example, related to education, they can take on their skills, short training courses, language training courses, technical vocational education and training. Okay, so if they are able to finish grade 9, then there's a lot of opportunities before embarking on university, college, right, in their hometown. And these are more closely located to their birthplace, so they don't have to travel and face other challenges. And at the same time, after this skilling, then they should have a pathway to continue higher education if they wish to. But anyway, I think more information is needed for students, just like I mentioned earlier. And that's why at CamTech, we go from provinces to provinces, from school to school, especially in remote area, from both public and private school, to promote information and to promote women taking on major in STEM. Actually, our government has a vision STEM 2035, and that in that vision, they aim to achieve 50% of women graduates in STEM. This is a major challenge. So your question is timely and is critical, and all partners, especially higher education and TVET provider, have to look at different ways, incentive, because sometimes you cannot just talk about education without looking at the basic needs, the Maslow needs of basic needs, right? So compare first. If I have to find ways, and there are successes, there are pocket of successes already, that if we can address economic needs, basic needs, and educational and skill needs at the same time, this can be done. This can be done. So finding a ways to incentivize them through employment or promise employment, some incentive, scholarship, to make sure that their parents are able to allow them to free their daughter, especially I'm talking about women, to free their daughter from childcare, from taking care of family businesses, from earning from economic activities in the provinces, good amount but short life, and coming to take on education or skill attainment. So there are pockets of successes. I don't have time to mention the name, but we can learn from them. And it has to be, it's quite complicated, but we have to address from multi-dimensional, not just education. It has to be economic, has to be from social. There's a lot of cultural stereotype, right? In the history, no longer now. I don't think you may have heard it because you are young, but in my time, women should not be educated because then they would write letters to boyfriend. This is the history that we inherited. But now you don't hear from it. But so we're improving. But we have to know where we came from and address those cultural stereotypes. And usually the men who say this, not women. And so men again play a major part. So a lot of stakeholders beyond educator have to work together to address this critical challenge. But I think it's already quite important step has been taken. Like we have at least one university per our Prime Minister's vision in one provinces, and then there's many TVET school. So our ability to provide the critical information to them to take up something that is more long term. Yeah, when I go to Ratanagiri, Mandulgiri, and Sengtrai, you know what I told them? I said, if you think that education is expensive, which means that not to pay, they go to public school. But if you think education is expensive, think of ignorance. Which one is more expensive? Then they get it. Then they get it. Then they stay at school. They don't drop out. Then we have, this is not enough. I went to school. I cannot go to all household, but we have to educate parents as well. That they have to allow their daughter, their children, their disabled kid to realize their dream as well through education.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kieng, for the wonderful answer. Because we have really limited time, I apologize, but we cannot take the remaining of the questions. And So please do feel free to just leave the comments in the post on AYAN's page. Maybe Dr. Kian can go look at them. But it has been a delightful conversation. We've addressed a lot of the challenges and also discussed on possible solutions to foster an inclusive and quality education. So I would like to end the discussion today here, and I would like to pass the floor back to our beautiful and handsome MCs. Thank you.
Excellency, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to kindly invite Mr. GSP, Executive Directors of AYAN Exchange to proceed to the stage to deliver the closing remarks. Please welcome.
Wow, that's so long journey about the discussion and so very excited and so interesting topics. So just respected Bong Dr. KHIENG Sothy and also our AYAN Cambodia here. I just said in short because of time right now, because it seems a little bit silent, right? Because they closed the aircon, they turn off the aircon right now. Okay. So actually just thank you very much, Doctor, for your sharing very, very meaningful speeches today and the discussion. And also I have just have few words. It means that some kind of like they just say closing remark, but actually I don't want to say closing remark because I have nothing to say. So actually just I want to say about the we can say like leaving away message with you. Just add for some information that you know that in life there are two things happen. It's about learning and experiencing. That's in life. And also you just heard about from Dr. KHIENG Sothy. One phrase that I just mentioned, I want to mention is about learn to learn. Actually, for learning, we have three ways. We have the first one is learn to learn. The second one is learn to accept. The last one is learn to share. That's about your life. And also, if we are talking about the experiencing, actually, in this world, there are two ways. Bad thing, bad experience, and good experience. So the bad thing is just your lesson learned to make your life better in the future. But if you have a good experience, just share with your classmates, with your team, with your youth, with your friends and community, and also the country that you can do. So therefore, I still remember one quote from Dr. Payne. He just said that the quality of education, if we don't have morality, it means that meaningless. So please just keep in mind that, because the education, it must be cover all of this, self-discipline, morality, and all of that. Therefore, we have a good critical thinking inside of this. I don't want to steal time because of the over. So at this time, I just would like to express my special thanks again to Dr. KHIENG Sothy and our moderator and Moni in short, and our team here, AYAN Cambodia, MC, two beautiful and handsome MC, and also our guest speaker, also a participant here, in person and online. So right now I would like to announce to close the event. So thank you very much. So I wish you have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. KHIENG Sothy, for your insightful remarks.
Excellency, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, to show our appreciations to the speakers and the moderator and to honor of their contribution, we would like to kindly invite Country Director Mr. Nonsonang Semani to proceed to the stage to deliver the gift and the certificates.